Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's Josh Costa. Today I figured I'd make an educational video because I haven't done a long format one yet, so let's get into it. This is going to be my advice if I were learning guitar on my own without lessons. I see a lot of people that are kind of lost and they're not really sure like what direction to go. And so I've kind of put together some stuff here that I would do if I was starting from scratch. To give you some context, I've been playing since I was 7 years old. I'm 24 now. So it's been quite some time. I had lessons for 10 years throughout that time. I was very lucky that my parents paid for that. And I realized not everybody has that luxury, sort of. It really, really helps, but it's not necessary. It is you can teach yourself anything in this world, and there's so much information. And I'm happy to share what I know a little bit, as much as I can in a video. So I put this together here, this list. This is sort of my list of becoming a guitar hero. Let's zoom it up here. And basically these are my steps and levels to guitar playing, at least mostly on a technical level. I would say most people that have been playing fall somewhere into level 2, maybe fringe level 3. This sort of divides up, I guess, the skill of most players. And what I'm going to do is talk about each level individually and what I would do to practice for these levels. So the first thing I want to talk about is level 1. That's like a beginner, obviously, somebody who just got their first guitar and they're not really sure where to start. There is a lot of good stuff online for beginners. I see maybe not as much for the level 2 and 3 stuff, so that might be more valuable. But I'll go over it quickly in case you're not sure of what to do. Level 1. This is going to be where you have to learn individual notes. You want to get your picking form right, hand placement and posture, palm muting, open chords, and power chords. These are essentially the basics that you're going to build off of when you get to level 2. I will say that level 1 tends to be kind of boring. A lot of people don't get out of it. They'll sort of hang around here and just sort of stick to the basics and not be great at it. And that's cool, I guess, but if you really stick to it, you can easily get into level 2. So here's how I've laid out how to practice for level 1. You want to learn fun beginner riffs. You can look up stuff on YouTube like single note riffs. I would suggest practicing 15 minutes each day or every other day, 30 minutes, so you can build that muscle memory of what you're getting. It can be quick practicing. And you want to switch between open chord shapes and memorize them. And overall, try to have fun because it gets way more fun later on, and it can be kind of grueling if you're like sort of grinding these out. But what I mean by like switching between open chords, so you'll want to learn G major, D major, A major, A minor, E major, E minor, F, G, no, sorry, not G, C. And those are basically the open chords. There's other variations. But basically, those are the basic ones. But if you notice when I was playing them, I'm able to switch between them very gracefully. And that's really what you want to try and practice when you're learning the chords, because I see a lot of beginners like coming here. Maybe they're hunched over the guitar, and that puts strain on your hand. And you also... and this is a tough thing to get when you don't have lessons, but some extra stuff I'll point out when I'm talking about, let's scroll up over here. I'm talking about hand placement and posture. This is like the hidden gem here of sort of getting out of it, because nobody's really thinking about that. They're just trying to put their hands in the right spot and get it to ring out. So by posture, I mean like the guitar should be angled up and you should be straight here. Your hand should not feel any strain when you do this. If you feel strain, it's because you have it out here and you're trying to look at what you're doing. That's probably the worst thing you could do, and that's probably the most common mistake I would see at this level. You don't want to look there. You want to keep it straight up, and you're not going to really be able to see from your position. So you can look over to make sure you got it right in the beginning, but eventually you shouldn't even have to look. It should become second nature. That's kind of the goal. You just have to kind of grind it out and enjoy the process, because eventually you won't be as nervous to play. Like, you'll realize, okay, I don't suck anymore. I'm just sort of like a entry-level guitarist. Because in this stage, you're not a guitarist in level 1. Level 1, you're not a guitarist until you're toward the end of level 1. You have just got the instrument. Level 2 now. So level 2 is the most fun place to be, I think, when you're learning, because this is where stuff gets very cool. And a lot of people get stuck here too, but we'll cover that later. And these are the things you need to hit on to complete level 2. And they're not in any specific order, but kind of in an order, but you have to get everything here to move on from this level. Bar chords is a big one. Everybody gets stuck here. Hammer-ons, pull-offs, vibrato. A lot of people don't think about that stuff, but that's what makes you sound musical. The pentatonic scale, blues scale, and full riffs. This is the great part about this, is that you should now be able to play along to your favorite songs as you practice. They're not going to be perfect, but you will be able to like learn the rhythm parts of your favorite songs, and it's rewarding because you can learn what you listen to. How to count properly is kind of goes along with good timing. We'll get into that. And basic soloing stuff too, so you can get into cool like basic sort of like licks and stuff, which a lot of people don't think that comes so quickly, but it can. Basic lick stuff like in a pentatonic scale. Okay, maybe not picked like that, but still sounds cool for your given skill level. Let me zoom back in here. So this is how I would practice in this level. Learn your favorite songs and riffs and play along to them. It's very important that you do not practice without playing along with the original track. That's how you're going to eventually get out of level 2. That's the key, and most people miss it. You have to stay consistent, otherwise you're not going to keep improving. Look up cool licks in the blues and rock space, sort of similar to what I just showed you. Running up and down the pentatonic scale. Messing around with improvisation over backing tracks. This is going to be genuinely at the end of level 2, where you know sort of some of the licks, and you want to branch out from just playing your favorite songs. And this is sort of like how you bridge the gap between level 2 and 3. And so you'll have like generic backing tracks you can look up online. So something like this, you can just look them up. E minor, so it's going to be your E minor pentatonic scales. You can also use the A minor pentatonic. You'll get into that in the later sort of levels when you know what you can use. But you just make up stuff as you go. Listen for the chord train. Okay, you get the point. Make up stuff with the licks you have learned. And make it musical. Level 3. Now we're getting serious. I would consider a level 3 player who knows all of the above and is now starting to learn this stuff. Intro to modes and theory. You're learning different scale shapes than just the pentatonic. You have to get out of the pentatonic box. Tapping, harmonics, different tricks, and basically the whole point of this is being able to accurately cover in-depth songs. And when you really get deep into level 3 and into level 4 even, you're now going to play to the backing track of the original song, not just the original song. So for example, you would previously practice by playing along to the original, but now you'll look up for the original backing track without the guitar. If that's available, that's great. And basically recording yourself That helps a lot. Here's how I would practice in level 3. Let's bring it up. It's very difficult for self-taught players, but when you're learning theory, writing down notes can help. Just doing research, keeping a close eye of what your favorite songs, like what the key they're in, and improvising it in your own way. That's sort of the theory behind it that I would say you would learn by yourself. For playing stuff, again, playing to those open backing tracks, and very importantly, recording yourself. I did not know for the longest time how bad I actually sucked. Because you'll get into level 2 and 3 and you'll be thinking like, wow, I have my shit together. Like, I can play some solos. I play like my favorite songs. Like, this is cool. Like, my friends look at me and they're like, yeah, oh, like that guy plays guitar. And then you realize you record yourself, and it's horrible. When I first started making the channel, I seriously had no clue how bad I was sometimes, timing-wise. So recording yourself exposes all of your errors that you don't even know were possible. You don't have to go post it online, but in this level, especially if you could do what I do, which is hook it up to the computer and record it there, you can really listen to it and be like, does this sound accurate or does it sound like shit? Because you're probably going to find it doesn't sound like shit. You might be thinking in your head like, yeah, I could play Metallica, no problem. Or I could play this Van Halen song. And then you match it up, your guitar, with the backing track, listen back to it, and you realize this sounds nothing like Eddie Van Halen. I'm horrible in comparison. So that's why that's so important. You want to also constantly work to make your technique musical. Musical and in time. I know we had this in level 2, because you had to do not practice without the backing track. So that would hopefully make you in time, but you'll expose yourself more when you're playing not along to the track and it's just to yourself. And making it musical, meaning that vibrato that you've been developing, that all those muting techniques, and just as you develop, you learn the little things, and you want to make it sound less robotic. At this stage, finally. It takes a while to develop that. And also developing your musical ear. So, like, you'll know when something's out of tune. Maybe you look at tabs and you realize, I wouldn't play it that way. Let me play it somewhere else on the neck. And also you could learn, like, you could listen to a simple song and just learn it by ear. Let's go back here. I'm going to also add in, it's very useful to look at live performances of your favorite guitarists. Like, for me, I like Eddie Van Halen. Watching Van Halen live without a net, just seeing like what he's doing helps a lot. Shows how he's thinking. Like, when you get to a certain point, you could see what he was intending to do. Maybe if he unintentionally did something, you're not just idolizing these people anymore. You're going into how they're acting. And that's level 3. It takes a long time to get past level 3. I don't even know if I'm fully past it. I would like to think I am, but it's really all up to discretion. But now level 4. And I would imagine most of you are still level 2 or 3, but I'll still include level 4 just in case, and so you know how to plan for the future. It's your choice. Essentially, the path you want to go once you can do all of these things. It's your choice. Some people will say you need to learn sweep picking, really fast alternate pick runs. Other people play fully legato. Like, Steve Vai is like the legato king, right? Like, Eddie Van Halen never did pick runs. He never did sweep picking, but your favorite metal artists are going to be doing these things. Or you might be wanting to compose music with tonality, and you're going to use the modes and theory that you learned to start writing stuff and being creative in a you know what you're doing kind of way. You know the full picture of why you're playing each note. And to practice this, I would say obsess over your favorite style. Try not to compare yourself to others too much and be critical of yourself, but in a positive way. Because I'm going to say this. There's going to always be somebody better than you, no matter how good you are. So it's a waste of time to compare yourself to them. You want to compare yourself to yourself and keep improving in the guitarist you want to be. it's important to dabble in the other stuff. For example, I don't sweep pick like ever. I don't ever do fast like alternate pick runs in my own playing, but I still know how to do them, and I'm not bad at it. I'm not like amazing at it, but I'm still pretty good at it. And I still take the time to practice that. But I mostly obsess over my favorite style, which is Eddie Van Halen, obviously. If you're on this channel, you love Van Halen. So I watched extensively, like every live Van Halen performance I could find. Listened to the songs in detail, really looked at what he's doing, obsessively. See what your role models in guitar did, and really get each minute detail and how they did it. And be positive and critical. Realize that when you're at the level 3 and you're getting to level 4, you're not nearly as good as Eddie Van Halen, but you could become a lot like him if that's the way you want to go. Or you really like Dimebag, and you can play Pantera songs, but maybe not exactly how he did it. Like those pinch harmonics, are you getting the exact right pinch harmonics? Is maybe he's doing small little things that you've never realized before. And that's the technical end. And of course, if you're going to go the composer route, then look at how other great songs you like were composed. And start doing that. Guys, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment what you think and what you want to see next. I figured I'd try and help some people out who are learning on their own. There's obviously a lot of great stuff on YouTube that has gotten you this far. If you've clicked on this video, you're obviously trying to learn on your own. So I hope it helped you. Again, you can screenshot whatever you want, come back to it later. And I wish you luck. If you guys have any questions for me, I'm more than happy to answer in the comments. Maybe something I didn't cover, or maybe something that you're just not sure on. But I would love to help you. And in the future, I'll probably be offering lessons, just not right this minute. But hey, let me know if maybe that's something you're interested in the comments. Thank you so much, guys, and have a good one.